Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by SoundCloud Studios, brought to you by official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Mulsey Missing, available on Amazon, paperback and ebook, coming soon. Missing 2, Double Expense, Double of Fun. Check it out on Amazon. Also brought to you by Sweet Psalms by Serena Wagner, based life of Dave, including 3 Quiz of Pains and Candy Up Psalms. Amazon.com, keyword Sweet Psalms Serena Wagner. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com and link to it, the Mike Wagner Show, 50 podcast platforms, 110 countries, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, also Apple Music, BitChute, Roman, YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and TikTok today. And don't forget to subscribe to Mike Wagner Show on Spotify, YouTube, and Spreaker as well. You're here with an amazing lady who's an author, teacher, administrator for many, many years in U.S. and Japan. And her daughter, Layla, was born with unfathomable medical issues requiring several surgeries to put her body back together. We'll talk more about that later. Behavioral issues, more medical issues, divorce, and numerous traumatic incidents. And she has a master's from Stanford in education and worked in nonprofit for mission-driven organizations, and also editor of a medical newsletter for use of her daughter's health. And the first book recounts a harrowing experience of giving birth aboard to daughter, and the second continues to the story about their daughter as well too. And the books are called Journey to Japan, a life-saving memoir, followed by I Couldn't Tell You, live, ladies and gentlemen, plus twos in beautiful downtown Minneapolis. The multi-talented author, teacher, administrator for many years in U.S. Japan with the books Journey to Japan and I Couldn't Tell You, the multi-talented Sarah Deschamps. Sarah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Hello, it is absolutely my pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
And it's great to have you on board. You've got a great story to tell. I'd like to hear more about that. But first of all, you're an author, teacher, administrator for many years in U.S. and Japan. Your daughter, Lily, was born with unfathomable medical issues requiring several surgeries, put her body back together. You later, a number of issues have come. We'll talk about how you managed to overcome. You have a master's from Stanford in education. You worked in nonprofit for many mission-driven organizations, and also editor of a medical newsletter focused on your daughter as well. Your first book is about recounting the harrowing experience of giving birth abroad to your daughter with complete medical issues and also navigating an unfamiliar culture. And also your second book continues the story of after the return to the U.S., when repeated hospitalization, life-saving interventions are involved. Your books are called Journey to Japan, a life-saving memoir. Your second book, I Couldn't Tell You, it's a memoir. Before getting all that, Sarah, tell us how you first got started.
So
Way
I'm
back.
originally from St. Paul. Yeah, St. Paul. I am originally from St. Paul, Minnesota, born and bred. Went to college in St. Paul, Minnesota at McAllister College, and made the decision that I wanted to see the world.
Oh,
And
nice.
so while I was in college, I tried to study abroad as often as I could, taking advantage of January terms abroad, months abroad, semesters abroad, and so I got to travel. So I went to Spain, I went to Bogota, Colombia, I went to China and Japan, and took advantage of as many times as I could going out to see the world. I learned
Oh,
Spanish while I was
wow.
in college. And I also, my boyfriend at the time was from Belgium and French speaking. So I learned a little bit of French along the way. Through all of that, what I decided was there are amazing things to see in the world. And if you can go out and explore them, you should. And that's what I tried to do. And jump ahead many, many years, my husband, who was that boyfriend in college, and I made the decision with our 2.5-year-old when I was 8 months pregnant to move to Tokyo, Japan. He had a
Huh.
job offer that took us to Tokyo. And so both of us were adventurous, made the decision we wanted to go to a place that was neither of our homes, meaning he's from Belgium, so we didn't want to go to all of Europe. I'm from the United States. We didn't want to stay in the US and chose Japan. He ran the Pacific Division for an airline, and I was there 8 months pregnant. And we thought this would be the greatest adventure in the world to be able to take our 2.5-year-old and move to a country and have our little girls grow up in Japan. It turned out that wasn't the case of what happened to us.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. Yeah. And I was going to ask you as well, too. What was your favorite country at the time before you got married?
I actually loved living in Colombia. I studied in Bogota, and throughout the time that I lived there, we did traveling within the country, and it's a spectacularly beautiful country. And from there, I had an opportunity to travel throughout the rest of South America as well. So we went to Ecuador, and we went to Peru, and Argentina, and Bolivia, and it's just a beautiful part of the country, and I felt incredibly lucky to have studied there.
Hmm. And it sounds like you've had a great fortune as well, too. And was it one exact precise moment that simply influenced you into what you do in the rest of your career?
Days after we moved to Tokyo, Japan, I gave birth to my daughter. Just before I gave birth to her, the doctors in Tokyo said there might be something wrong with this baby. And I had to go to a hospital that was far away from our new home in Tokyo. And I
Wow.
ended up following the rules at that hospital, which were that no one could accompany me for the birth. I had to go alone. So
Oh,
I ended up
no.
at 4 o'clock in the morning, having taken a taxi to a hospital by myself and ended up giving birth by myself to a baby that ended up having multiple medical issues.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, it seems like it's pretty tough as well too with medical issues. Maybe you can just start off the first one and kind of work your way down. You know, it seems like rather harrowing, but maybe some of the things that have occurred as well too. I know it's difficult, but I guess the one is like, what were some of the multiple ones that she had?
So her body is born with what's called cloacal malformation. And what that means is that the bladder, the bowel, and the uterus were fused as one. The
Oh my
easiest
gosh.
way to say it is that she couldn't go to the bathroom. They're
Hmm.
inside her body. They're not things that you would see on the outside in her case. But um, she immediately needed a surgery within hours of being born, or she would have died. Luckily, the hospital that she was at had amazing Japanese doctors. I couldn't speak Japanese. Even though I spoke some Spanish and some French, I did not speak Japanese, and certainly not medical Japanese to be able to understand. But those doctors were amazing, and they saved her life. They did the correct surgical procedure that needed to be done so she could live. And it was at that moment we realized that we had quite the adventure in front of us of not the one we planned when we moved to Japan, but a different kind of adventure of putting her little body back together again. It involved 7 more surgeries that had to happen during the 7 years that we lived in Tokyo.
Oh wow. So it sounds like she needed a surgery every year, it sounded like almost.
Yeah. Yep, that's about what happened. And there, at the time, there were 3 surgeons in the world who could perform this incredibly complicated surgery to separate those 3 parts of her body. There were 3 of them in the world. And so we found one of them, an amazing doctor in Los Angeles. And so we flew between Tokyo and Los Angeles for multiple surgeries to have her body put back together again.
Wow. Okay. So the chloroform, I think I got that right, was first. And what were some of the other ones were involved? Now, was that the
Yeah,
chloroform we talk about having the three parts all joined together? Was that the only one requiring several surgeries, or was there other like with heart, lungs, limbs, everything like that?
yeah, good questions. It's cloacal is the word, cloacal malformation.
Cloacal. Okay.
And
Cloacal formation. Okay, let me
yeah,
write that down here. So I'll do it best I can. So cloacal
cloacal.
formation. Okay, all right. I think I'll get that word right after this as well, too. So
At this point, the most important thing to know is that she had to have many surgeries in order to make it so she could go to the bathroom. And it involved incredible procedures that had to happen during those 7 years. So the important piece that in the first book that I wrote is that there were 2 things that happened. One of them was these incredible surgeries that our daughter had to have to put her little body back together again. And the other part was we absolutely loved living in Japan. It was everything we dreamed about, seeing another culture and exploring the culture and having our children grow up in Japan. So we were able to do those two things. And my second book begins when we're leaving that amazing experience and our daughter is finally healthy and whole.
Oh my gosh, I think that'd be great. We'll cover those two books as well too, with Journey in Japan, a life-saving memoir, along with I Couldn't Tell You with Sarah Deschamps in just 1 minute. But first, listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all you need. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. It's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon, paperback, and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those will be the first go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews. In Eve 11 endorsed by Howard celebrities including Joanna Cassie, Forrest Riley, and Manos. So grab your copy today for it goes Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Coming soon, Missing 2, Double Suspense, Double of Fun. Check it out on Amazon. Also brought by Sweet Psalmist by Serena Wagner, based life of Dave, including 30 exquisite pains and King David Psalms. The Sweet Psalmist gives new perspective. Dave, through Psalms, he wrote his time as shepherd started in complicated yet turn relation with King Saul. It's a story of love, betrayal, repentance, hope, and more. Check out the Sweet Songs by Serena Wagner on Amazon. Keyword Sweet Songs Serena Wagner. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com and Linktree the Mike Wagner Show. 50 podcast platforms, 110 countries, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, also Apple Music, BitChute, Rumble, and YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok. Take us with you on any mobile device. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. T-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, hoodies, makes great gifts 24/7. Go to Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia for great books, merchandise, and more. And support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, themikewagnershow.com, and support us on YouTube, Spotify, Spreaker, and your favorite podcast platform today. We're here, the amazing author, teacher, administrator for many, many years in U.S. Japan, Sarah Deschamps, here on the Mike Wagner Show. And before we get back to Journey to Japan, life-saving memoir, along with I Couldn't Tell You. And, we were talking about that chloroform, disease as well, too. Was that like a DNA thing that was like hereditary, or how did it get detected that was it was clerical, and what were the odds of getting that? It just kind of made me struck my mind. It's like hear about these rare diseases, but what was like the odds that come up with it? Was it DNA, and was it like check before time? It just rang through my head. I've heard all kinds of stories about that and similar.
Yes. And so the way in which it's detected is that it looks like what's called a dark shadow in the lower abdomen. So in my book, I talk about that doctors at the time saw maybe there's something, could be nothing, can't quite tell, as they do ultrasounds. And even before she was born, after we arrived in Japan, they still couldn't exactly tell.
Really?
So there is no way to detect. It's not a hereditary disease. It's not related to DNA. It's simply a malformation and happens in utero. It's 1 in 5,000 births of children who are born with.
Oh my gosh, 1 in 5,000.
Yeah. And so I'm for a newsletter. I'm the editor, one of the editors, and the newsletter is for families who and medical professionals who are involved with helping families who have a child who has cloacal malformation or Hirschsprung's disease.
Hirschsprung's disease. Okay, that's another one too. So let me write that down. Hirschsprung's disease. So Hirschsprung disease. Boy, I'm learning more about you than myself right here, so which is great. So I'll have to start looking up later on as well too. Too bad I have a producer to look up and everything like that. But also, you have been in nonprofits for mission driven organizations. Maybe about some of the mission work you have done as well too. And if you want to throw in about your daughter Lily, feel free to talk about it.
Okay, fantastic. Well, let me start in 2007 when we chose to leave Japan. Lily had had all of the operations that she needed. She could go to the bathroom. It wasn't the way everyone does, but it is a way that works for her and her body functions. And our family decided in 2007 to leave Japan to start over again. We were going to come back to Minnesota and begin again. What happened was not that. And that is where my second book begins. I couldn't tell you.
Oh, wow. Okay. And what exactly inspired you to write the book? I couldn't tell you. It sounds like, there's more surgeries, there's more events and everything. So what was that one exact moment that simply said, I'm going to start my second book?
I think it's important to say at this point, my daughter Lily told me to write both of these books because
Okay.
listeners could be wondering, this mother is telling these very personal stories in her own memoir. But it was my daughter Lily who inspired me to write the first book. And when I was thinking long and hard about whether I should write the second book, she said, "What's taking you so long? Get going and write the story." And the reason the second book is complicated is because it's a story of mental health. So
Mm,
after 7 operations in Tokyo, Japan, after we had had this incredible time, both loving the culture, but also so many times needing to save Lily's life or have a very difficult operation, when we finally came back to Minnesota, we thought things were healed and that she was fine. Weeks later, she had to have another operation. And
oh,
it was
no.
at that point that both she and I began to descend into mental health worries, stress, anxiety, depression, all the kinds of things that happen when you have had extreme trauma. And that's what this second book is about. It's a very raw and real and personal and detailed story of what it looks and feels like for a mother and daughter to go through these difficult times.
Hmm. And how about your husband and your older daughter as well, too? And, they had to feel it too. It's not just you two, it's them as well.
You are absolutely right. It's the story of a family that goes through these difficulties. And as you mentioned, my husband and I got divorced. And it's a really important part of the book that people can listen to read and understand how, when you've had so much trauma, that you need to find a way to look inside yourself. And that's what I ended up doing. Both my husband and I, we weren't angry with each other. It wasn't a difficult divorce. It was sort of a quiet moment where we both needed to take a breath and separate so we could start to work on our own selves. And that's what happened at that point in the book. That's about 2013 when that happened. And so for 2 years, the book talks in great detail about going to talk therapy and what that was like for me. It talks about me going to a psychiatrist to get help with medication. It talks a little bit about the story of my husband and what happened with him. Our older daughter is involved, of course, in the story. And then in 2015, after I in particular had had quite a bit of time of reflection and kind of putting myself back together again, we remarried.
Nice.
And so the story continued.
Got it. Okay. It seems like a rather common problem too that you go through so much stress in a divorce and everything like that. And of course, I guess that's kind of like a lesson to be learned. But even what's really sad out there these days, and of course, thanks to social media, that you encounter one problem in people divorce. So I guess my question I'm going to throw out to you as well: if you have like one traumatic event and you're tempted to divorce, what is the best advice out there that you can say to somebody about not divorcing after one traumatic event? No matter how traumatic it is, it can be minor, it can be moderate, it can be major. What's that one advice out there that you give to a person right now about not divorcing after a traumatic event?
The most important thing I would say is something I take away from the title of my book, which is I Couldn't Tell You. The lesson I needed to learn was I had to tell people. So my piece of advice would be find a good friend and go talk to them. Explain what's happening. Be honest what's happening so that at least you have a positive sounding board, a place to go to where you can get some help from someone you trust. I didn't have that. I didn't trust anyone because I believed that they shouldn't know how hard it was. I looked like a put together woman who had a really great job, and our kids looked like they were put together, and our marriage looked that way. And I didn't talk to anybody because I didn't think I could tell. And so the most important thing I would say is go find someone and talk and make an effort to tell the truth.
Mm-hmm. And of course, you talk about with the culture in Japan and everything. How easy or how difficult is it to find and maintain friendships in Japan?
The incredible part about living in Japan was that because we had small children, they were going to preschools and ultimately schools, elementary schools, where there were many, many cultures. So
Oh
there
wow!
were 35 countries represented at the schools where our children went to school. So you
Wow!
have the exposure to this amazing culture of Japan. And of course, we got to know many Japanese people. But I have dear friends from all over the world because of our time living in Tokyo.
Oh my gosh! What was the name of the school that you went to, representing 35 different countries in that school? What was the name of that school?
So the school that the children ended up going to and at before just before our time was up in Japan was called the Montessori School of Tokyo.
Nice. I've heard great things about Montessori's and being different from public schools. And maybe you can talk about what's it like with Montessori and how's it compared to regular education.
Well, so I was the assistant head of that school. And
Okay.
so I ran the day-to-day operations for the last couple of years that we were in Japan. And Montessori education is an amazing way to be educated. Our girls were there for the younger years and came away with this global knowledge of the world, of how to understand other people, how to take care of yourself, how to learn letters and numbers in a way that's holistic. And the lessons that are taught every day, my Montessori teachers are just exceptional.
Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. And I was thinking about the whole thing with the surgeries in Japan. Do you think she would have the same success with surgeries like if you went to the Mayo Clinic in in um in Rochester, or you had like a hospital in Minneapolis or Los Angeles? Do you think they would have the same care, same surgeries that was given like they did in Japan?
Well, so most of her surgeries actually took place in Los Angeles. At the time, there were three doctors who could do those surgical procedures. The amazing thing now is that there are 16 and maybe more centers around the United States where there is a group of doctors, a clinic of doctors and nurses and medical professionals who all take care of these children. So what was three doctors in the United States is now 16 centers all over the US. So these children are very well cared for and have incredible opportunities with their lives because of the medical advances that have taken place since our daughter was born in 2000.
And what's the name of the medical centers in case anybody needs information or has something similar to what your daughter Leah went through, or somebody has like needs a rare operation a serious operation. What's the name of the clinics?
What I would look up is something called the Pull Through Network. Check out
Pull
the
Through Network. Okay.
Pull Through Network. The Pull Through Network is an organization that has all of the information about all of these clinics, and it's an incredibly run organization that can give you information and contacts with other families, and a lot of medical clinics and hospitals that are doing these procedures.
Oh my gosh, that's certainly a lot as well too. And a bit more with Sarah Deschamps with "I Couldn't Tell You" and "Journey in Japan: Life-Saving Memoir in 1 Minute." You're listening to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Brought to you by official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Moses Missing, the sweet songs by Serena Wagner, based life of David, including 30 exquisite pains and King David Psalms. Amazon.com, keyword sweet song of Serena Wagner. We'll be back. Amazing author, teacher, administrator for many years in the U.S., Japan, author Sarah Deschamps of "I Couldn't Tell You" and "Journey to Japan." After this time, Rebecca author Sarah Deschamps, The Mike Wagner Show with "I Couldn't Tell You," and also "Journey to Japan," a life-saving memoir. And maybe you can just touch upon a few more things we haven't really hit upon yet with a "Journey to Japan." Also, "I Couldn't Tell You," maybe just a few more to highlight that I think we might have forgot to cover.
So yeah, this is the cover of I Couldn't Tell You, and the cover of Journey to Japan looks like this.
Okay. All
And
right. And you,
I could I couldn't tell you just came out a week ago, so I'm very thrilled about that one.
that means I couldn't tell you, right?
Yeah. So important topics in that second book that I think we should talk about are um, the importance of making sure that if you're going through a traumatic situation, that you do talk to somebody and educate yourself as best you could about what's happening to you. I didn't. In the I Couldn't Tell You book, I didn't talk to people. I didn't research. I just did my best to get through the day, to get through the week, to get through whatever was in front of me. But I think what's really important is I wish I would have taken more time to educate myself. For example, through organizations like the Pull Through Network, through other people talking to families and doctors and medical personnel, so that I would have had the opportunity, I think, to learn more than feel and not feel so isolated.
and lastly, what do you want people to get from the books and learn from them?
So I think the most important takeaway from these books is a, the mother-daughter relationship is complicated, and it's difficult to go through traumatic situations. And reading books like mine can really help to to give you a way to understand what's happened to yourself in your own mother and daughter relationship, and give you a way to be able to talk about it with other people. As others read my book, they usually say something like, my situation wasn't as bad as yours, but I understand what happened to me better because I've read both of those books.
Mm-hmm. And we want everybody to learn from all that. And where can we find your books at, Sarah?
So the books, best place to find it is through my website, sarahdeschamps.com, or you can find them on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, bookshop.org, any place where you can find books online, you can find my books.
And what's the website again?
Sarah Deschamps, and it's DESCHAMPS.com.
All right, well, everybody, check it out right now. Here's the multi-talented author, Sarah Deschamps of "I Couldn't Tell You" and "Journey to Japan" here on the Mike Wagner Show. Just a few more things. What else can we expect me in 2026 and beyond?
My goal is to spend time promoting these books, in particular the mental health aspect of "I Couldn't Tell You." I'm going to be speaking at a medical conference this summer that I hope will help people to find ways to talk about what trauma can do and the impact it can have on your mental health, any kind of trauma, so that people can begin to find ways to talk.
Mm-hmm. And I think we need to learn that right now, especially during these times. And who do you consider biggest influence in a career?
What I do is read a lot. And what I spend a lot of time doing is reading memoir. And I think the biggest influence I've had are some of the memoirists who write the deep, dark stories themselves. For example, Jeanette Wells of A Glass Castle or Tara Westover of Educated. They're really good authors who taught me a lot about how to tell a story so that it's meaningful to somebody else.
And it sounds really interesting as well. What's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
Talk to your friends. Tell them what's happening. Make sure you find a place or a person that you can make sure to say what's happening so that people understand you and you feel heard and you don't feel so alone.
And that is so important during these times. We want people to reach out right now. Here's the multi-talented author, Sarah Deschamps of I Couldn't Tell You and Journey to Japan, Life-Saving Memoir here on the Mike Wagner Show. Sarah, very big thank you for time. You've been absolutely amazing. Learned a lot. Looking forward to having soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. What's your website? How do people contact you? Where can people purchase or check out your books?
SarahDeschamps.com or Amazon, Barnes and Noble, bookshop.org, any of those. Thank you so much.
And thank you as well, too. And once again, Sarah, very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely amazing. Looking forward to having soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. Glad to have you back. We wish all the best. And Sarah, you definitely have a great future ahead of you.
Thank you so much.